Here with Coach Mike Gonzales of the Donna Redskins. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Hey, Tony, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on.
You are welcome. Nice to get to meet you and talk to you about taking over the program there. Let's start off with how's your family doing with Dad around so much?
Well, it's mainly me had to make that the transition because I was not used to being home so much. I used to work a lot of hours, and I was used to being gone all the time, and doing powerlifting and football and those types of things. Then I'm home all of a sudden, and I find myself looking around thinking like, what do you guys do here for fun, but I stayed busy, spent a lot of time with the kids, which was really a blessing in disguise, to be able to spend more time with the kids and hang out with them and do a lot of more family type stuff. So sometimes, these things happen for a reason.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about so you're taking over the program this year. You were hired March 31st, right in the middle of all this. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that, what you've been able to accomplish as far as talking with your coaches, hiring new coaches, meeting your kids, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, like you said, it was right in smack in the middle. I actually interviewed the Friday before we let out for spring break. And as soon as I got done with my interview, I went back to West School East. I reported back to West School East, and we were set to host the regional powerlifting meet down here in South Texas. And then we started getting word that, schools were canceling practices and games, and we were kind of waiting on word from the UIL and the Powerlifting Association to see what we can do. We should still host the meet, and we were going to proceed. Then all of a sudden, we get a call from our AD and says, we're not going to host anything this week. Possibly some practices during the spring break week, but everything's going to be postponed. And then a couple hours after that, that's when they let out that nothing, no sports. So it's kind of weird, kind of odd. Then you go into the period of we're suspending school another week, so spring break was extended. A couple weeks after that, I got hired at Donna through via Zoom board meeting, so that was kind of different also. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, I had never really seen a via a Zoom school meeting before. So there was some confusion at first, and then about 30, 40 minutes after that, I get the call from the superintendent letting me know that I was recommended and that I was approved by the board to take over here at Donna. And then then you go from there. So uh, I had to wait to get released from Wesco ISD, which obviously took some time because not all personnel was on campus or they weren't all working. Then I finally got to sign my contract at Donna. I start, but you're starting from home, which was weird, because usually, I'd like to come in, address the coaches, address the student athletes, meet the faculty and stuff like that, right into our strength and conditioning off-season program and that type of stuff, but it was a change because I had to meet with coaches online. um, then I called almost every kid on the roster that we had phone numbers, contact information for, spoke to parents. So it was just a little adjustment that we had to make, or that I had to make, in order to allow myself to introduce myself to everybody properly. Speaking to parents and to the student athletes, I could tell they were excited. I was excited. So I had a good feeling, even though we had to go through all this and kind of a new thing, if you will. But I think it was positive, and we're gonna make the best of it.
Yeah, that kind of changes introducing yourself from calling everybody into a room and saying hi
Yeah,
to a one-on-one situation.
yeah, yeah. And I always envisioned myself as, if I ever became a head coach, I'd address the team in a team meeting room and that type of stuff. And that was my vision. But I had to call everybody individually, which, was kind of nice too, because you get to talk to the kids and you get to see their personalities and how they react individually towards you, you know what I mean? So, and then also the parents, it was kind of nice to talk to them one-on-one as opposed to being in a room or an auditorium.
Now you're a alumni from Donna, and you've
Yes,
been coaching right down the road at Weslaco East, so you do have a little bit of familiarity with some of your athletes.
yes.
I guess two-part question, but taking over the program, you're going to be putting your brand on the program. So what is that brand going to be? What are you going to hang your hat on?
Well, coming from Westaco East and my background with the coaches there and I was a strength and conditioning coordinator for multiple years at Westaco East. We're going to hang our hat on the weight room. We want to be a big weight room program. We want to be tough. We want to be physical, and we want to be disciplined. And at the end of the day, for me, the difference for us, the difference is going to be the weight room. And I want to be stronger, more physical. And in the fourth quarter, when our opponents are kind of getting tired, I want to have that extra push, that extra strength that comes from the physicality that we develop in the weight room.
And then, who are some of the players you expect to be your standouts on the field this fall?
Well, they have several returners. We have several returners coming back. They have a lot of kids that played last year that saw the quite a bit of playing time, which I expect them to produce for us as well. But number 4, Avery Bowen, he was a big time athlete, quarterback / tailback at times. Even played on the defense side of the ball. He's a kid that I expect that's going to be one of our big time athletes on offense. Then you have Adan Reyes, who's also a returning running back. He's kind of a smaller guy, but he's hard-nosed. He's physical. It's funny because when I was at Westaco East, we always had little scrappy guys, and it was always the little short ones that stuck their nose in there. And that's what he reminds me of. The quarterback, Luis Frias, he's about 6'1", 180 pounds, tough kid that I've got to watch on film, and he impresses me quite a bit. So having that combination with him and Bowen, that's something that I plan on utilizing. You have Adonis Garcia, who's a wide receiver, and you have Jacob Yanis, who's also an athlete that was previously played a little bit of quarterback, mainly receiver, but he's one of those kids that you can put in different positions. When we expect a lot of good things from those guys. Defensively, you have Arik Singletary, Jacob Olivo, Matt Pettis, and Evan Frias, who's the quarterback's brother. And those kids I've got to watch a little bit on film. Also, Oscar Sandoval, who's going to be a 3-year starter at defensive tackle. And Eduardo Rosas, also, who's a big offensive tackle. I expect a lot of big things from those guys. And they've been, the leaders of this program up until now. So I expect them to continue that role, set the standard, the new standard that we're bringing in. And I expect a lot of big things from those guys.
So in communicating with those guys, they've been the leaders on the team. There's a big change going on and you coming in. Do you express to them that kind of thing, that, hey, you've been the leaders and you're still going to be the leaders?
Yes. Definitely. When I spoke to those guys individually, I let them know that, one, that there was going to be some changes on the coaching staff, that I was going to bring in guys that I trusted and that I worked with before, and that were excited to come in and add to the Donna tradition. And I told them, I said, from speaking to the current staff, you guys are the leaders of this team, and I expect that to continue. That shouldn't change. just learning our style, our brand of football. It's going to take some time, but I expect you, and like I told Bowen, I told him, I said, if you lead this team with confidence, the rest of the guys will follow, and then I told Big also the same thing. I said, you're the anchor of the O-line. And if you continue to lead, and you believe in us and believe in our system and believe in our brand, then the kids are going to follow you. So I hope that those kids take that leadership role in stride, and they can, as we go through and progress, that they learn our style and then run with it, embrace it.
Coach, thanks for your time today, and definitely hope we get to see the Redskins on the field this fall.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me.